I'm gonna do the right thing for once in my life. With my last breath, I'm gonna defend this town.
Yes. Yes. Yes!
I'm so happy right now. So instead of doing 2 individual breakdowns in one video this week, I'm just going to be focusing on the episode The Turning Point today. Mainly because Til You Drop had little impact on the story overall, whereas Turning Point was huge for the story. Of course, a quick spoiler warning for those who haven't caught up yet, please do so, yada yada yada. Did they really take Marcy out of the end of the season 3 opening? That is insane. That is actually insane. To at least briefly touch on that episode, I thought it was fun. It was cool seeing the planners try really hard to not get carried away by their surroundings at the mall in order to make Anne feel more at ease, since she's dealing with so many things like trying to take care of them, control her powers, and figure out a way to defeat Andreas, etc, etc. Anne initially thinking she adjusted to Amphibia life super easily, but realizing the planners also had to work extremely hard to keep her safe in Amphibia from situations she didn't even remember, which helped the two parties come to a more mutual understanding about how to handle future endeavors in public. Also, I like the little interaction Anne had with that girl Gabby from her school. Apparently, the lie to get around Amphibia was Anne stayed at a relative's farm in Alaska for 5 months. This interaction made Amphibia's version of Earth feel a lot more realistic and grounded. Like, wow, Sasha and Marcy aren't the only people Anne interacted with on a regular basis before going to Amphibia, giving that feel of Anne leaving even more behind than we initially thought. It's pretty good overall. Now, even though we're only 3 episodes into this season, so this doesn't mean a whole lot yet, but Turning Point is the best episode in this season so far. 100%. What an absolutely perfect way to begin Sasha's road to redemption. The episode begins showing the events at the end of True Colors from Sasha's perspective. It appears Andreas tail slammed her into a wall and not out the window like many, including myself, initially thought. And seeing her reaction to Marcy getting stabbed by King Andreas, it's the hand reach out that gets me. King Andreas is semi-concerned about how Marcy was able to open the portal, but since he still has the Calamity Box, it's, dare I say, no big deal.
Boo! You stink!
Andreas notices Olivia and Yunnan trying to sneak away and wonders if they're with him, which they reply yes. Which of course they did to save themselves for the time being. If you saw the trailer, you know these two are gonna team up to try to rescue Marcy. Look at the handhold though. Look at it! Andreas wants those two to pump Marcy in a rejuvenation tank quickly because she's fading fast. So I guess Andreas didn't actually put her in that thing, but Olivia and Yunnan did? I wonder if they're going to feel guilt off that action in their upcoming focused episode. That would make things a lot more in-depth and interesting. Next we see Grime and Sasha surrounded by Frobo, which prompts Grime to throw Sasha out the window for a flawless escape. Shout out to Joe Sparrow for still lurking around the castle's perimeter so we could save those two. The unsung hero of Turning Point right there. I loved how he got mad when Grime called them George too. Sasha wishes for her friends to be alright as King Andreas watches them fly away, not before sending a Frobo to follow them. With the Toad army captured by Frobo and Andreas expecting them to hide out at a Toad tower, the duo's only option is to hide out at Wartwood. Citizens like Mrs. Croaker, Stumpy, and Loggle bombard them with a bunch of questions wondering why Newtopia Castle is floating, where's Anne, where's Sprig, etc. So Grime tells them Anne sent them to Wartwood to protect them while she goes on a daring mission. What's crazy is the majority of the statement was actually true. Anne being the one to send Sasha and Grime to Wartwood was the only lie, really. The citizens surprisingly believed the tale mainly due to the fact that they trust Anne so much. If Grime didn't include Anne in that lie, it probably wouldn't have worked. So this is where we see Sasha's guilt start to noticeably consume her on a consistent basis. She's felt spurs of guilt every now and then throughout season 2, as we've seen at the end of episodes like Beryl's Warhammer and the Third Temple, but this time the guilt sticks over the course of more than a day. She doesn't even feel like she has the right to step inside the planner's home, so she decides to sleep in the barn with Bessie and Michelangelo. Also, I'm pretty sure that initial shot of Grime and Sasha after they opened the door was supposed to be a reference to the episode The Dinner and how different Sasha looks now. Back then, she was still dead set on betraying her friends if it meant gaining power over others, so she looked really fierce and determined in a malicious way back then, and now we see the Sasha who's witnessed the severe consequences of those actions, and has entered a depressive state believing she's on the same worth as trash. Sasha's not a natural blonde? Everything I know is a lie! Mrs. Croaker, Wally, and Maddie continue to unknowingly add to Sasha's guilty conscience by giving away a free pie, trying to sing to her, and offer her free bread. Grime is ready to go though. His sister Beatrix was able to evade capture along with some other toads, so he wants to meet up with her as soon as possible because they got weapons and stuff. Nice little detail in the note showing Grime is the younger sibling between the two. I don't think that was ever confirmed before. As Sasha is talking to Grime about how they need to go about things in a different way for the future, King Andreas is Frobo arrives in Wartwood, scanning the planner's home. Storyboarding with Sasha action scenes never failed to amaze me. Shout out to Inbel Bretta and Cassie Zwart for their work in this episode. Absolutely incredible job. Before Grime is able to finish it off, it calls for reinforcements. Assuming Wartwood is done for, Grime wants to pack it up before the other Frobo arrive. However, Sasha refuses, saying she's done with lies and schemes. So Grime tells her she needs to go into the planner's house to confront her demons, then to come find him when she's got her head on straight. Sasha walks into the basement, aka Anne's old bedroom, and finds Anne's journal with the Battle of the Bands drawings. She reads an entry Anne wrote about how excited Anne is to finally be back together with the two of them and how awesome it is, concluding how happy she is that she trusted Sasha again. Even after everything that happened, Anne still had faith that they'd work it out. This was the final straw that broke the camel's back. Sasha couldn't possibly regret her actions anymore at this point, seeing how her old best friend genuinely had faith in her, how she betrayed that trust, and how it not only put Anne in danger, but Marcy in even more danger than that. This whole scene is definitely in Amphibia's top 5 saddest moments right now for me. Sasha's crying, it really got me. Her road to redemption has officially begun. She vows to be better and to be a friend Anne deserves. I love the callback on the eye zoom in too. All the other times Sasha's eyes were zoomed in on, they were during instances where she's trying to intimidate Anne into doing what she wants. Her eyes were squinted during those times too to give off a more sinister vibe. This time her eyes were wide open and determined to do what's right, truly wanting to make up for what she's done by doing good in the future. Sasha gathers everyone in Wartwood at the front entrance to tell them the truth about everything. How Anne didn't really send her there and how a Frobo army is on their way to destroy the town. But even though she lied to them, she vows to defend Wartwood down to her last breath if need be. Remember towards the end of Reunion when Sasha thought Anne was crazy for risking her life for talking frogs? Oh, how the tables have turned. Such incredible development. The army has arrived and it's being supplied by that giant Frobo that was shown in the season 3 intro, so I guess this guy is not coming to Earth, huh? At least as far as we know right now. Sasha tries to take on the entire army by herself, but is easily apprehended within a matter of seconds. And on the brink of getting blown to bits by a Frobo bomb, Grime comes out of nowhere to save the day. He's realized Sasha's company is more important than a Toad army. Obviously, Grime's development seems a bit quicker paced than Sasha, but for a show like Amphibia, it's kind of impossible to put the same amount of focus on a character like Grime like they would with Sasha. It's just not really realistic. Regardless, he's come a very long way in his own right. This dude didn't give a crap about anybody back in season 1, even the people in his own army. Sasha had to basically teach him how to lie to people because of how brutally honest he was. Now here we are in season 3 and he values Sasha's friendship more than his sister. More Frobo come to join the fray and the people of Wartwood are ready to scrap. Mayor Toadstool actually looked super badass while punching those Frobo though. Wait a minute. This guy's actually insane. The country music playing in the background while the townspeople fought was really funny to me as well. Sasha and Grime using the heat-seeking bombs to defeat the giant Frobo made me instantly think of Mario. You know how in certain Mario games where you would need to have a bullet bill follow you to break something so you could proceed further in a level or a world? I'd like to think this final action sequence was a reference to that. The episode ends with the Wartwood citizens accepting Sasha as their new guardian. Now it's time to fight back. I'm curious how you guys think Sasha's start to redemption was handled. Did it feel too fast, too slow, or just right? I'd love to know your thoughts. Oh, before I forget, I do want to quickly mention more episode titles for the rest of season 3A have been revealed. We got Mr. X, Sprig's Birthday, Spider Sprig, Olivia and Yunnan, Hollywood Hop Pop, If You Give a Frog a Cookie, ending with Froggy Little Christmas. Which new episode are you most excited for? It's gotta be Olivia and Yunnan or Spider Sprig for me, 100%. Of course, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like down below. It helps out a ton. But for now, I will see you guys next time. Peace out, take care, bye-bye.